And welcome back to Pride London Festival Presents TradeMark. Once again, my name is Stephen D'Amelio, president of Pride London Festival, and I am joined by the one and only Cozmic Cat, DJ, producer, and all-around party monster from Toronto, Ontario. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between, please help me welcome our first guest of TradeMark, the one and only Cozmic Cat. Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Stephen. It's so cool to be here.
It's fantastic. And of course, we would have loved to be doing this in person, but obviously with everything that's going on, we're trying to make sure that we are keeping our distance and being safe and following protocols. So you are actually joining us from, it looks like your residence in London, in Toronto, Ontario, while we're
My
broadcasting
dining
from
room.
your dining room. Fantastic. And I'm broadcasting from my beautiful basement in downtown London, Ontario.
What a world.
What a world. So, of course, the first thing I wanted to do is just ask, how are you doing? How are you keeping up through these challenging times?
It's one day at a time. Things are changing rapidly, and I'm choosing right now to focus on an attitude of hope for the future and the brighter days to come. But yeah, it gets on everybody's nerve, and it's kind of stressful, the pandemic that we're going through, and just seeing all the different ways it's impacting all the different communities. That's not fun. But yeah, in general, I'm very grateful and very happy that I'm healthy and I'm safe and sane here in Toronto. So I'm going to stay that way. Good.
And that's exactly what I think we all need to do is try to stay safe, sane, and be hopeful for the future. So that's amazing to hear. Now let's just start off with kind of the basics. Your DJ name is Cozmic Cat, and your preferred pronouns are
She, her, and hers.
fantastic. Quick question: where did the name Cozmic Cat come from?
It actually came from a real life cat that I used to have when I was a bedroom DJ. And I used to put on records, and the cat was fascinated by the records and would try and hit the turntable. This is back in the day when I had a real turntable and a real vinyl. And I had some catnip, and it was called Cosmic Catnip. And I used to give the cat the catnip, and the cat would be just rolling on the floor and all excited, and then go hit the records, and we would have a DJ dance party. And my first gig came up, and I thought, well, I'm going to go and represent my DJ Cosmic Cat. And I did, and it kind of stuck. And it's kind of always just reminding me to not take things too seriously and just to have fun with the records and think of myself and everybody else is just really enjoying the whole experience. So it's a light and fun name, and I think it fits.
That's amazing. So, kind of going off of that, when you did start first performing, what kind of got you into the idea of performing out live and taking your sound and sharing it with the rest of the world? Why did you end up going into performing?
Well, I've always been super social and outgoing, and as soon as I was able to hit the clubs and get out there and see what DJs were doing and what nightlife was all about, I was really hooked. I just heard the mixes, I heard mixtapes, and I'd always loved music and records and CDs and MP3s and the whole thing. It was like my world, and I felt like I was home. And I said, this is what I have to do. I communicate best through music and jokes, of course. It elicits less groans, like, oh my God, that was the worst joke ever.
Well, that's amazing. So, getting into music was something of a kind of a following of a bit of passion, a way that you communicate and that you're able to also understand others. And just for my own understanding and for our audience understanding, when you were watching some of these musical artists, some of these DJs and producers, who were the kind of the top three influences, whether they're in music or they're out of music, that kind of propelled you to move into this direction?
Well, I have a lot of influences. I feel like I'm influenced by everything every day. Like life is coming at me and it influences me and creatively and inspires me. Music, nature, art, traveling, all that kind of stuff. But I would say for DJs, the one that stands out right now is Honey Dijon, because she's so iconic and such a great role model. And I love her sounds and the way she can't be stuck into one genre. And I really just appreciate that. I'm also really influenced by Nina Simone, who's a jazz singer, not into DJing or electronic music at all, but just the whole concept of Nina and what she stands for and how she lives and the sound of her voice and the musicality of her art. I'm really influenced by that. And finally, I would say it's a toss up between Frankie Knuckles, who was really big at the time that I started to really hear house music and has some really classic tracks that just are so emotional and make you feel so much. But the other one would be Jax Jones. And he's just a super fun performer, high energy, plays live instruments during his DJ set, collaborates with really cool pop vocalists, and kind of crosses that bridge between the underground and the mainstream in kind of an upfront way that I can really get behind. So definitely those are some key influences in my career.
That's amazing. I know Honey Dijon is a really popular name, really well known. Honey Dijon has been performing and producing with artists like Quincy Jones and a number of other artists. And listening to your feeling about Jack Jones makes me feel like I could see how you got into it a little bit with the energy that you display as well, which is just amazing. It's infectious. One of the things that I certainly picked up on in your performance from last year's Pride celebrations, and of course all the celebrations that you've had a chance to perform for. So that's amazing. Um, Now, talking about your music career and how you've been moving forward so far, I am curious, how have you found navigating through the music industry, the DJ world, as an openly gay woman?
It's definitely been a journey, and it's been tied closely with my identity as a queer woman and my personal self love. Where at the beginning of my career, I didn't really see a place for me in mainstream DJ culture, and I kind of compartmentalized that. And I was like, well, I'm just a DJ, and it's really nothing to do with my sexuality, and it doesn't matter. And I'm kind of keeping that aside and pursued um, quite a long career in Philadelphia and New York without really acknowledging that side of it during my DJ gigs. And when I came back to Toronto, I just decided that it was time in my life to really like tap into that power that I had, that gift that we all have in the LGBT community. It's what makes us special. It's what makes us who we are. And the coming out thing is such a landmark act that we can all do, and to be living our truth is something that we need to celebrate that. And so I was like, no, it is a huge part of my identity, and I want to be closer and give more and be more involved with the queer community. And so my life really changed that way. I found that there was room for me. There is room for you and all of the sides of you if you choose to show people that. So yeah, there's been a big change, and now I DJ in the queer community, in the straight community. I DJ in all sorts of communities and clubs and community events, and for the city of Toronto and other cities, and at prides, and also at corporates. And I've had so many great experiences with DJing just for being who I am as a very open queer woman. So that's a bit of a journey.
It sounds like an amazing journey, though, which is just amazing to hear that you yourself kind of just explored the different sides of yourself,
Mhm.
and moving back to Toronto was another way to do that, and to uh, grow into a chosen family, which is just amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, exactly. The chosen family is a great way to put it. And it's like,
Absolutely,
well, if you're not accepting me, that's cool because I accept me.
that's right. So now,
All that matters.
and thinking about both the sound that you had when you started out, as well as the sound that you have when you moved back to Toronto and started to develop a closer relationship with the community, and the sound that you are now. How would you describe both that journey and where you are now with regards to your sound, and what you put out there for the rest of the community and the rest of the world to enjoy?
Well, I think it's again tied to my personal identity of just being more open, being more compassionate and more accepting and more able to be free as a human being and just stop judging myself, stop judging others, and just make it about the music, make it about the party. And it's less about, oh, I have to only play this music, or oh, I have to only, be down with this sound. I'm open to a lot more sounds than I used to be. It was very narrow, and I had a very like a specific idea of what was good and what is bad. And I'm still very discerning as a DJ, and I have high standards of quality for my production. But I have this new kind of, or I've developed into this more open kind of compassion for humanity, where I just want to spread the love. And it just doesn't matter if that's through this or through that. It's just got to come out. So I think, I don't know if that answers your question, but it's definitely more of an open format vibe, even though I've gone more into house music. It's definitely more of an open format vibe with my music.
And it sounds like, as you said, there's an appreciation that has been cultivated over the years for various styles, various. I mean, you mentioned, for example, one of your influences was Nina Simone, who is very different than Honey Dijon and any other electronic music artist for that matter. So that is certainly impressive to hear that over the years and certainly as of today, you're not just taking from one influence, but all those influences, and then, as you said, being an open format, which for those who don't know, just means you're open to playing pretty much anything. If it makes you move, you're pretty much into playing it, as long as it puts a smile on your face, and as you said, good quality. So, and speaking about having kind of being able to be free and having no restrictions, this past year and a half. With the coronavirus and the pandemic, has placed quite a bit of restrictions on us as DJs, on producers, on promoters, and various things like that, which you kind of take all of those titles over the years.
I wore those hats, I do.
So I'm curious, how has the pandemic affected you for your production work, your DJ work? Has it been more of a hindrance, or has it actually been a bit of a help to maybe see other areas that you didn't really know that you were capable of taking on? Where have you landed when it comes to navigating through the pandemic, and how that's been for you as a producer and a DJ and a wearer of many hats?
Exactly. Well, to be really honest, it was extremely difficult at the beginning of the pandemic, for myself, as well as many, many people in the arts who depend on making an income from people gathering, from events, and all of that was stopped. And it was extremely difficult to fathom, like, what am I going to do, and what's my identity now if I'm not DJing? Am I a DJ? Who am I? What am I? Oh my God, it's getting so metaphysical. But then, like a cat, kind of landed on my feet, in the sense that there has been an expansion of two areas of my career. The one has been production, where I've had a lot more time to devote to my studio time. And that's led to some really interesting developments, releasing a CP that we're going to talk about, and also releasing some other music at the beginning of the year, and singles, so that that's like a direct response to my ability to now sit longer in the studio and to have that creativity in those times to really delve into making electronic music, which I don't feel I had that time before, or that just my headspace wasn't there because I was so busy. And the other kind of positive thing, because I would like to focus more on the positive, is that there's been an expansion of my DJing in terms of the live stream. And I'm currently doing 2 live streams a week, one on Twitch and one on Mixcloud. And then I have some monthly guest spots, including with the Pride London Network. And so these are all, I mean, my first live stream was back in July of last year, and it was rough and it was spotty and it wasn't too polished. And, I'm in my living room with the projector in my eyes, and it was really raw, but I kept at it. And now I have a whole production on my green screen and my studio lights, and I've got my software going, and I really just decided to take on that technical challenge and figure out that little learning curve. And now I'm in a good place where it's just automatic, and I just do it twice a week, and it keeps me fresh, keeps me relevant. And it's made me some new friends and fans. And it's also created some awesome content that I now have in terms of mixes and shows that I'm able to leverage and share. So those have been two things that have been positive for my musical career to come out of the pandemic, because there's a lot that didn't work out and is still on hold. But in the meantime, we wait, but we also create.
And I'm curious. You mentioned, for example, that you had released as of the past couple of years, but specifically this year has been a bit of an uptick in the ability to produce music, which has kind of landed, from my understanding, some unique opportunities for you, and being able to release your music across digital music platforms so that everyone around the world can hear it. Um, Maybe we could talk a little bit about both the ability for you to do that with your record label that you have partnered with, as well as your own creative process, and kind of what that looks like when creating music for people to enjoy.
Well, creating music is a very sacred place for me. I see DJing as a trade and a skill, and I love to do it, and I love what I do. Whereas producing music, it's really in my head, and it just comes from my soul, and I just go there. So in terms of my process, I need a lot of space and quiet time, and I need to incubate on ideas and write things down and listen to tons of music or listen to nothing and just feel vibes. And then I get in there and I block off my time and I just throw ideas down. And then I kind of sit back and be like, whoa, you create when it's hot and you edit when it's cold. And then I kind of go back there and tweak it, and it's just so much fun for me. I just think, oh, like, I could go on forever. Like they say with a painting, it's never done. You just decide when you're going to stop. And it's the same with production. I could keep changing that song forever. But it's been a really big learning curve to do music production. It's not easy, and the software is complex, and there's lots of ideas, and production is hard, but it's so challenging and so rewarding in the challenge. When I hear something that I've created, I have that feeling like I've just rocked 5,000 people. I get the goosebumps. I'm like, oh my God, this dude is so good. And it just makes me feel alive. So then I know this is the place where I'm supposed to be, and that I'm in the flow zone, and it's great. And so the process just kind of goes like that, from like quiet to blah, it's out. And it's so exciting. And then I get to promote it and share it and put it on Spotify. And I release most of my music on my own label called Jupiter Productions. And I just also release some other producers' music on my label as well. So that's been exciting too, to take on someone else's project and do the whole record label owner hat business thing.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's also a process, very admin heavy, and making sure all your rights and royalties are taken care of and all your promotional things are lined up. And the record label vibe is interesting and creative for me as well. But yeah, the process, I would say, is, I guess every artist has a different way of creating, and mine does involve a lot of in your head, sitting with a lot of space. And that's why I was not as able to create as regularly as I am during this pandemic, because you have these big blocks of time that it takes to manifest these songs.
Going off of that, actually, that the label and the working with other individuals, are there any individuals, producers, DJs that you are kind of keeping your eye on, that you're thinking these are the ones that are kind of rising up as the time passes and as they're utilizing maybe this pandemic in a positive way, like yourself?
The list is so long, and it's amazing because I think this pandemic has given a lot of people access to their own creative vibe. And so I'm watching so many people, but definitely Krydelka, who's coming out of Belgium, is someone I'm watching. And Ivor is coming out of Glasgow or Scotland. I'm watching him as well. And then there's so many. I'm watching Jamur from Toronto, and Jada G from the States, doing a lot of really cool things for Black women and producing. and actually was nominated for a Grammy for her work. So I wouldn't call that up and coming, but definitely a role model. Louisa, DJ Longstockings, Frankie Teardrop, DJ Minx, Cynthia is just coming out of Berlin and always has some interesting synth sounds. Cyrita, Jaguar. There's just a lot. There's really a lot. I feel like I should compile a list.
So it sounds, as you were saying, it sounds like there is so much talent out there.
So much.
And, you know, if you're listening or you're watching this, and you're someone who's, you know, wondering to get into the music industry, just know that obviously there's other influences out there. There's other abilities that you can connect with, just like Cozmic Cat here has. And as long as you have a positive attitude, I think there is certainly a way forward. I guess one of my last questions would be off of the idea that there are so many, you know, amazing talents that are coming out, that are taking it to the next level. Is there anyone that you yourself are kind of following and would love to work with, either that they are up and coming, or like the other individual has a Grammy or a Grammy nomination? Is there anybody that you yourself would be interested in working with or working alongside, whether they're big or small?
Well, again, the list is really long. And I think I've named some, but definitely DJ Minx from Detroit, DJ Paulette from the UK, and DJ Cynthia from Berlin. They just have good sounds, whether they're selectors or they're producers. And of course, Missy Elliott.
I love
Yeah, I mean, I just would love to, I love to work with different people from different cultures and different genres of music. And I would also love to work and collaborate with RuPaul. That would be sick.
I think we all
And Kitty Smile, that would be awesome too.
and Kitty Smile.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, yeah, I'm open, and I think that as to be a good producer, you need to be open, because everyone has a story to tell, and if you want to elevate your story, it's about incorporating other people's voices in it.
That's actually perfect to lead into our next question, which is, what advice would you give to you know, any female that's out there that is interested in getting into production work, getting into the DJ realm, maybe being a record label owner or A&R individual? What advice would you give to someone who is interested in breaking through to this industry?
I would say, first, generic positivity. Anything is possible and you can do it. There's always a place for someone who has real passion and a good attitude and good vibes, and some skill and talent. So work on whatever skill or talent you have, whether that's networking or making beats or DJing in your bedroom or, you know, curating good sounds together. Just really focus on that skill. But also, I would say, number one, be a fan. If you want to be a DJ, be a fan of DJs. And if you want to be a producer, be a fan of producers. Follow them, check them out, listen to them, support them. Because no one, the next generation needs to fill a spot, and they have to create their own spot. And, you know, it's not about being extractive, it's about being additive. So it's, what are you going to bring to the table? Figure out what you can bring, be a fan, and doors will open, because everybody loves good vibes in the music industry. Everybody appreciates people who genuinely respect and are interested in following them. So I would say, if you have an idea about what kind of job in the music industry or what kind of niche that you would like to occupy, just really delve into that as a fan, number one, and build your skills, and your networking, I think, will just fall in line, as like-minded people will seek you out and connect with you. That's my advice.
And that's really good advice for sure. And I mean, anybody that's watching or listening that is even thinking about stepping into this realm, as Cozmic Cat was saying, you know, follow those pieces of advice, and that's where you just can't go wrong. I agree 100%. You know, positivity does breed more positivity. and the ability for you to continue to follow your passion, but continue to work on it is what's going to make you really good at the art form that you're attempting. So
Yeah, and you're a DJ too, Stephen. It's like
I
you
am.
understand, and when somebody's like a true fan, you want to give them more. You want to give them more, at least an opportunity. You want to, if they give you a mix, you'll probably listen to it if they've been genuinely supportive of you. So it's a reciprocal industry.
It is. I definitely echo those statements. That one of the first things that I was told was, if you want people to come to your events or to support you, you've got to support other people. And I think that really speaks true for just about any situation, to be honest. But it really does have an impact in the music industry, because we're all kind of in this together, as they say, and so it's definitely impactful. One of my last questions that I have is, you have as we were just talking about, you have a EP that's set to release on the 30th of April. That is quite a bit of a unique. I'm sorry. You have an EP that's set to release on April 30th, which is been a bit of a travel for you, a destination from start to finish. I'm curious, the EP that is set to release, what was that process like, and how would you describe your sound with that EP now?
Well, it was really interesting because the whole thing is very cosmic and very magical. I released an EP at the beginning of the year called Hope, and it was 3 songs, and it really literally was just a manifestation of all the hope I had for getting back to some semblance of being able to vibe and party and, groove with people once again in real life. So I released the Hope to send out love to everybody that needed some love and some cosmic love and some hope. And then I set about creating my next EP, which was called En Route. And it's so funny because I had no idea what en route meant, or in the sense that I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I was going somewhere. So I made the songs and put it out there like a journey into the universe. And it was En Route. Cozmic Cat is en route. Little did I know I'd be en route to the UK with this next project, when I was approached by a label that I respected and followed for a very long time. And I just love them, and they're so great. And they reached out and wanted some music from me. And I thought they would just be interested in a single, but they decided to do 3. So it's an official EP, and we're going to be releasing it. We went back and forth a little bit, and we decided the release date would be on the 30th. And it's really exciting for me because my passion is, like I said, collaborating with really interesting and unique people from different cultures and different genres, but also they have to be like-minded, in the sense that we just have to resonate on that same frequency. And I just want to work with people at this stage that just feel right. And these guys just are awesome. They're super inclusive, and they don't believe anyone should be discriminated against for race, class, nationality, sexuality, sexual orientation, gender. And to roll that into a record label, a clothing brand, an events marketing promoter vibe, it just feels so awesome. And I just love the image and the social justice causes they get involved with on their Instagram and on their website. And I was like, I want to be a part of this team. And so the collaboration was just, okay, well, that's where I was en route to. I'm en route to this next adventure with these great people. And it's really exciting. And the fact that they're just running this queer inclusive label over in UK is just really, is perfect for me. So I'm super stoked about it.
That is amazing. And congratulations once again for that. That I think we're all going to be very excited to see. I know that we're going to be releasing a little bit of snippets over the next little while on both our Pride London Network as well as Pride London Radio on Mixcloud, where you can find Cozmic Cat on Mixcloud and on Twitch as well. Speaking of which, if people wanted to find a little bit more about you, your music, they can go to our PrideLondonNetwork.com site, where we do have, as you had mentioned, a monthly show with you, Club 181. But if they wanted to know more or were even interested in reaching out to you for bookings, how would they do that? Is there a website or a Twitter?
Yeah, I think the best way would just be my website, www.djcozmic.com with a Z, Cozmic, and that's the one-stop shop. But of course, I have all the socials, and I'm on Spotify as Cozmic Cat, an official artist, and yeah, it's called Google. I'm around. I'm really open. I don't block people. I'm really approachable on and off the dance floor.
I love it. So once again, the website, any other social medias, just type in Google. It's very easy. So
yeah, you'll find me. It's hard. As long as you spell it right, I will pop up.
So it's, again, for everyone, it's Cozmiccat. So this has been an amazing time. I really want to thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk with us, to share your experiences, and of course to share a little bit of your music as we're getting ready for the EP to be dropping. Can we give a bit of a shout out to the label? What label are you with?
The label is He, She, They, coming out of the UK. You can find them he.she.they on Instagram. And yeah, it's great. They're awesome. Shout out, big ups. We need more labels and clothing lines and promoters that have the same philosophies and the same energy and the same vibe as He, She, They.
So again, that is absolutely amazing to hear. Check out the record label, and again, check out Cozmic Cat on social media and on her website. I have to echo that. We really do need more record labels, more people who are interested in supporting, an all-inclusive idea, an all-inclusive brand that is here to really empower each other, and I think that's what music is really all about as well. So that's fantastic. Again, it's he, she, they. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. So check that out. Now, I would be remiss to not state this, and I think it's important that we do recognize that we are airing this this interview right after, of course, our Sunday Morning Joy program hosted by Rod Cullum. And thank you to everybody that's had a chance to check that out. But this program is actually airing again on a very important day that's coming up, which is April the 26th, also known as Lesbian Visibility Day. So I did just want to take a quick moment here and just ask, was there anything that you would like to say in regards to this day, maybe to anybody that is struggling with their own sexuality or is just interested in maybe hearing some words of positivity from someone like yourself?
Well, Stephen, I would like to say that it has been a journey for me coming out. It was a long time ago, but it is not always easy for everyone. And all I can say is your life gets exponentially better the more of your truth that you express in the universe. And I know circumstances are different for a lot of people, but the joy that I feel now being queer, being a lesbian, being gay, being LGBTQ, being all the names under the umbrella is nothing more than, it is definitely my truth. So I just want to send strength, love, and positivity to anyone who's struggling with coming out. And I'm telling you, there's a community waiting for you. We are here. We support you. We believe in you. And you can look around and look for us and see us in all different places, like myself in the music industry, other people in other parts of the world that you live in. And you will see that we are making it happen. We are living, we are loving, we are out, and we are proud. And I hope you join us.
And I definitely want to echo those sentiments that, organizations like ours, other organizations we have taken some time to highlight, are really important. And if you're living in Toronto, for example, there's a number of organizations that are there, 519, Pride Toronto, Yo Homo. There's a lot of collectives that are really, really important. So wherever you are, as Cozmic Cat is saying, it's important for you to know that there is support out there, and there's love out there for you. So on that note, I want to say I love this time that we've had together. I love the fact that you have continued to provide so much for so many out there, for very little to nothing, just being asked to be a part of people's lives and just wanting to be there, which is just amazing. So on behalf of everybody on Pride London, and of course here in London, Ontario, we really want to thank you for being a part of our lives and bringing your smile, your joy, your music to our city over the past couple of years, performing for our Pride Festival in 2019 and 2020, and hint, hint, maybe this year. So it has been a journey, and we really do want to thank you again. The last thing I wanted to say is, please do remember that you can support musicians and artists and DJs just like Cozmic Cat out there, whether they're big, they're small. You can support them just by following them. You don't. It really does. You don't need to pay money all the time or to buy stuff all the time. Just supporting in any way possible, whether it's showing some love on Twitch with Cozmic Cat's live weekly streams, or even just sending a positive note and a positive message when you hear something that you enjoy through Spotify or other streams. Once again, Cozmic Cat, thank you once again for taking the time to speak with us and sharing your thoughts, your experiences, and your life with all of our listeners and watchers around the world, and of course here in London, Ontario. Once again, this has been TradeMark, a special presentation of Pride London Festival with the one and only Cozmic Cat.
My pleasure. Take care. I love you, London. Love Pride London. And I will see you. Thanks for having me.